Hey, kamu apa kabar? Sudah lama ya kita tidak bertemu? Aku berharap kamu melihat informasi ini dengan berjarak 1 meter dari orang lain. Dan aku yakin kamu telah mencuci tanganmu sesering mungkin untuk menghindari virus corona. Ya, virus corona masih ada. Tetap pakai maskermu, karena maskermu
melindungi aku,
kamu,
dan kita. Layanan publik yang prima bagi Jakarta.
Pesan ini disampaikan oleh Dinas Penanaman Modal dan Pelayanan Terpadu Satu Pintu Provinsi DKI Jakarta. Follow Instagram @layananjakarta.
Empati tegas inovasi andal.
Disiarkan langsung dari Mall Pelayanan Publik Provinsi DKI Jakarta, channel YouTube Pemprov DKI Jakarta, dan channel YouTube BPSDM DKI Jakarta. Inilah dia, podcast Rabu Belajar.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Halo, rekan ASN Jakarta, selamat pagi. Dan juga Warganet, apa kabar? Semoga selalu dalam keadaan sehat dan tetap semangat ya. Selamat datang di podcast Rabu Belajar, sebuah platform bagi kita semua guna meningkatkan wawasan dan pengetahuan. Bersama saya, Yulia, Policy Manager dari TGUPP Provinsi DKI Jakarta. Pada Rabu Belajar kali ini, kita kedatangan tamu istimewa dari luar negeri, tepatnya dari negara Brazil. Beliau adalah Karine Pansa, the Vice President of International Publishers Association, or IPA, and the head of the 33rd IPA World Congress Programming Committee. So, good morning, Karine. How are you?
Hello, Yulia. Very pleased to meet you. I'm very good. Thank you.
Yes, and would you like perhaps to give a small greeting to our viewers on YouTube?
Thank you very much for inviting us to be here today. It will be a pleasure to talk about World Book Day and also our 33rd International Publishers Conference.
Thank you. So to our viewers and Karine, before starting our discussion, please allow me to give a little bit of insights about today's topic. Did you know that in 2019, Indonesia proved itself to have the most productive publishing industry in Southeast Asia? And nationwide, Jakarta has been the center of Indonesia literary scene. And in 2020, Jakarta contributed to 25% of the nation's digital collection and registered 14,906 ISBNs. That's a lot, right? And in November 2021, Jakarta was appointed to become one of the UNESCO City of Literature. And this year, Jakarta will become the host for the 33rd International Publishers Association Congress. We will discuss this further on today's podcast. So dear viewers, today's topic is Jakarta as the host of the 33rd IPA World Congress.
We're proud to announce that Jakarta has been selected to host the 33rd International Publisher Association World Congress in 2022. This achievement is the result of the collaborations of the people and the provincial government of Jakarta in developing the book industry and literacy. Jakarta is home to more than 10 million people It's a large percentage of those come from all over Indonesia, various cities, provinces, even countries. As the nation's melting pot, Jakarta has long been the region center for literacy, culture, and arts. Historically, during the declarations of independence in 1945, which took place in Jakarta, the distributions of printed materials was used to spread the spirit of revolutions among the people across the archipelago. And the founders of our republic, all of them were book readers. Those are activists and scholars that have the spirit of independence, that have the spirit of against colonialism. They're able to translate ideas into document based on the wide reading that they have had for many years. Currently, Jakarta is also the center of the nation's business and economy, and also home for hundreds of large national-scale libraries and publishers. The city has also become a meeting hub of the international events such as the Asian Games, the ASEAN Para Games, the Jakarta International Literary Festival, International Indonesian Book Fair, and also the Litbit Literaction Festival. Jakarta's public willingness to maintain unity in diversity, combined with available book infrastructures in the city and the growing industry, has inspired all of us to collaborate to build reading culture as an integral part of the life of the citizen in our city. It is a new initiative in the history of Jakarta. The Jakarta government will partner with the general public, with the publishers, with the community groups, and literacy volunteers to actualize the missions through book-related programs that are grouped into 4 main pillars. 1. Developing book communities. 2. Meeting of book and content stakeholders. 3. Strengthening cultures to meet the demographic bonus. And 4. Reinforcing literacy and content ecosystem. The 2020 is a challenging year for all of us across the globe, not only here in Jakarta or Indonesia. The pandemic has affected almost all sectors, including the publishing sectors. But at the same time, the hard situation brings forth some innovations such as virtual book-related events, such as the opening of the 33rd IPA World Congress that will be held virtually for the first time. Further collaboration is needed to maintain our resilience to deal with this challenging time. The appointment and the selections of Jakarta as the host of the 33rd IPA World Congress serve as one of the defining stage in the development of the Indonesian book industry to invite publishing houses, book stakeholders across archipelago to come together, work together in harmonious collaborations. The success of the event will be marked as Jakarta's dedication to the country and to the world as an attempt to develop the people's well-being through books. Thank you.
So Karine, welcome again in Jakarta. So I hope you enjoy your stay here. So we will start now with some questions. So I have several questions for you, and we will start with the first one. So yesterday was celebrated as a National Book Day in Indonesia. And when we talk about book, we cannot separate this with the publishing industry, who have contributed a lot to publishing books and literature to our country. So since you are the Vice President of IPA, could you please explain to us what IPA is about to our viewers?
Sure. Yulia, so IPA is the International Publishers Association. It's a federation of publishers association, and we have 89 members from 73 countries, and we work to promote copyright, freedom of expression, and literacy around the world.
Thank you. Wow, that's a lot of countries that they join.
Yes,
actually,
89
the
countries.
Wow.
89 members from 73 countries.
Wow, that's going all over the world.
Yeah.
It's very global. So the second question is, as we know together that this year Jakarta will be the host for the 33rd IPA World Congress. As far as I know, the Congress will be done each of 2 years, and the first time was in Paris. And if I'm not mistaken, even this is the first Congress that is fully supported by the government, right? So
Yes.
can you tell us more about the objective of the Congress itself? What is the importance, and why did IPA appoint Jakarta to become the host of this year's Congress?
So the Congress is all about bringing people together and knowing and sharing experiences from around the world. So it is really important that we discuss the key challenges of our sector. So having people from other countries and with other experiences is an opportunity to know and to exchange experiences from each other. So it is really important that we learn from each other, and we are very, very excited to meet again with our friends that we haven't seen for the last 2 years. And we are really, really grateful with the Jakarta government for the support that we have received to do this Congress this year.
Wow, I'm so excited to be in the Congress this November, I think. So now I would like to dip into the topic of the Congress itself, because I think I like the topic, and I'm actually a bookworm myself.
Good.
So I have a lot of books at home, and I always read books before I go to sleep. So the topic is actually about reading matters, embracing the future. So could you please elaborate to us why do you choose this topic, and what actually reading matters to you?
Okay, so the theme of the Congress, as you said, is Reading Matters, Embracing the Future. So let's start from Reading Matters. So in 2 years ago, so we had supposedly have had the last Congress that was going to happen in Norway, and the theme of it was Reading Matters. So at that point, we thought that talking about literacy and reading matters, it was really important. So when we started to discuss about the new theme of this Congress that is going to be held here in Jakarta, we thought that reading still matters, which is really important. So we need to nurture the pleasure for reading, so in everyone. And we also need to embrace new technologies, embrace a near future. So this is really important to show that publishers are particularly looking for new experiences and to new objectives. So this is why we put the last Congress theme together with embracing the future.
And for yourself, what does reading matters to you?
Reading really matters, and we need to really be excited about new experiences, new fantasies, new worlds. So, and look for also for the future, and also for new experiences. So it is really important to us.
Yes, we do believe in Indonesia that actually reading is the window to opportunities and to knowledge. So I think we are pretty much aligned on that track.
Yeah.
And as a head of Jakarta Congress Programming Committee, in the previous video we saw that there will be a lot of programs in the Congress. So what kind of program that IPA prepared for this year's Congress, and what are the differences between this Congress and the previous Congress?
So we have such an amazing program, starting with the Director General of World International Organization. Sorry, I got. We have the Director General of World Intellectual Property Organization. So WIPO Mr. Darren Tang is one of our keynote speakers. So we're very excited about that, because we are going to talk about copyright as a very important subject to the Congress. And we have, alongside in the program, lots of speakers from Indonesia, from big publishing houses, and also some international publishers from big companies as well. So it is going to be a very, very exciting program.
Wow, it sounds like very big congress with a lot of programs. So excited. And now I would like to ask you, what are actually challenges that are faced by the publishers like nowadays? Because you mentioned publishers will come to the congress, exchange knowledge and meet each other.
Of course, that our main challenge now it is to recover and from the pandemic period. So we need to be resilient and sustainable as an industry. So one of our major things that we have noticed during the pandemic is that some countries with more developed technologies and developed infrastructure have weathered the storm or survived well in this period. And in the other hand, places where this technology and this development was not very present, it was more difficult to survive. So what we need is to help publishers to trace their new ways and support them with new possibilities of surviving in this industry.
Yes, I can imagine that during the pandemic, there are a lot of sectors that are impacted actually, and it's not just our health but also the nation economy as well. So during the pandemic, I have a data here that the book sales and publication dropped even until 70% in Indonesia, and after 2 years of the pandemic, how do you forecast the future of the publishing industry? Did you think the industry will recover very soon?
Oh, this is exactly really, really important why we need to meet to exchange experiences. So there are markets that have done well during the pandemic and lockdowns because they had more time to read and more interest to read. And but there were many markets like Indonesia where publishers have really struggled with the work, and they had to work together to the sector to be more resilient. So this is the main reason why we need to exchange experiences during our next Congress.
Yes, okay. Yeah, I can imagine that because of the pandemic, we have to stay at home, we cannot go out, and what we can do, just reading or maybe doing our work, right?
Yeah.
So on that note, you mentioned earlier about intellectual property and also about the piracy. So in Indonesia, publishing industry is also facing a great challenge in book piracy. How could the organizations such as IPA help to overcome this challenge?
So piracy is an issue common to many publishers around the world. So IPA can help on supporting and giving reasons to the government and to have effective systems to fight against piracy. This is how we can we can help with that. And this is not only the physical piracy, but also the digital piracy that is happening everywhere. So we need to discuss about that and also have systems, again, that can be worked and we can fight against piracy.
Yeah, I think it is also a matter of respect as well to the authors, right? When we talk about the book piracy, not just intellectual property. So speaking of the organization itself, other than the book piracy and intellectual property, does the organization have any other particular priorities?
Yeah. So copyright enforcement is one of our most important things as of freedom of expression and and fighting against piracy. So it's the three of our pillars that are really important to discuss. So there are many publishers, many countries where publishers are not free to publish what they want and are not free to say what they want. So this is also really important for us to discuss about this, and IPA does a lot of lobbying on that. And we also have a prize that is called Prix Voltaire, that it is to support publishers around the world that want to publish difficult subjects, and they need to have the liberty to do that.
Yes, I take note there are two priorities now, viewers, which is the first one is about intellectual property and also about piracy, how we prevent that, for example, and give more respect to the authors and writers. And the second is about the freedom to speak, I think, right? So I think it's also important that we as general audience can read whatever that we want without any affiliation with the government or any other things. So I think we are done with the segment 1, and we are going to do the segment 2, which is actually we have questions from the viewers, and I believe a lot of viewers here have many questions for you, Karine.
Good.
And I actually already have 5 selected questions on my table and from the audience to be discussed in this segment. So I hope you do not mind.
No.
So the first questions come from a student, a junior high school student in Jakarta. So her name is Rika. So Rika asks you about, from your perspective, how to increase the interest in reading books, especially among teenagers. Are there any lessons learned that you could perhaps share from other countries?
That's a great question. As I mentioned earlier, reading really matters. And during our preparation for the last Congress in Norway, we have prepared a paper on reading matters, where we have studied a lot of possibilities, a lot of, how can I say that, initiatives about reading around the world. So this is all written in this paper, and it is we are able to have the opportunity to read if the audience wants in our website, internationalpublishers.org. There are some reports there, and one of them is reading matters. I think it would be really interesting to get the report and to learn a little bit more about other opportunities, about other experiences.
Okay, take note on that. So international publishers, indonesiapublishers.org.
Exactly.
Okay, so maybe you can put it in the screen as well, so you can learn more about how reading matters to everyone. So the second questions come from a female writer. So in the recent years, there have been many female emerging writers in Indonesia. So what is your opinion about this? And does IPA have a special program for female writers?
We don't have a specific program for female writers, but we do have a committee that discuss on diversity. So this is something really important to us. So we share best practices among our associations, and we ensure that countries who haven't worked yet on this subject can learn a little bit more on that specific topic. But we, of course, we do encourage a lot the equality on this segment.
Wow, thank you, Karine. So I think we have a lot of questions on our hand. And viewers, if you still have questions, please do not hesitate to put it on the YouTube. So maybe after this, we can have a chit chat, and the team can also deliver the questions to you personally after the
I'll be
show.
pleased to answer.
Yes. So shall we go to the next questions? We have questions actually from the government officials of DKI Jakarta. So he said, "Thank you for the fruitful discussion. Reading is one of my hobbies, and from today's topic, I can get a lot of insight about the publishing industry. one of the UNESCO and IPA programs with other stakeholders is to grant World Book Capital. It's a very big words, I think, for a city.
Yes.
And his question in particular is there any chance that Jakarta could be the World Book Capital city in the future? How do you see it?
The World Book Capital by UNESCO, it has been such a successful program, and there was many cities who have applied more than once. Actually, there were cities that have applied many times. So if Jakarta has the right program, sure, there is completely a chance to Jakarta to be the World Book Safety Capital in the future. Sure.
Wow, I hope that at least Jakarta can be the capital for literature, so at least we can have one hub in Southeast Asia, I believe, and there will be a lot of like literature from Indonesia, and yeah, and I think there are a lot of literature that already translated into English, right? So it can have more global exposure, and people can know.
Jakarta is a city that loves books, so we just need to show them that you love books and that you can work a very nice program for the World Book City Capital.
I cannot agree more. So I think this is our homework as well to make more literature, and Jakarta can be the capital. So let's continue to the next questions. So there are questions from a publisher actually in Jakarta. So he said that how could a publisher like himself be the member of IPA? Is there any particular requirements, or is there any step or progress that he should do?
So as I said, individual publishers cannot join IPA because IPA is a federation of associations of publishers. So if the publisher from Jakarta wants IPA support from any part, so it has to join TGUPP. Okay. That is the local publishers association, and then will be assisted by IPA.
Okay. So there's an individual or a single company cannot register directly to IPA, but it has to be registered first to the national association, and which is supported by IPA. Exactly. That's how it works?
Exactly.
Okay. Interesting. I just know about that. That is a new information, actually. So let's continue to the next questions. Is from Indra. Indra is also government officials of DKI Jakarta from the Cooperation Bureau. So we have a Cooperation Bureau actually. So he asks, what kind of contribution that people of Jakarta could give for the successful of the IPA World Congress?
We have been so warmly welcomed here in the city. We are very pleased to be here. So I think that Jakarta citizens, if they welcome our participants from the Congress with this warm welcome as we have received, this would be really nice from your side.
So I think it's more about collaboration, and I hope that a lot of people can
and more importantly, keep reading.
Exactly,
because reading
important.
matters.
Yeah, that's very important. So yes, saya rasa banyak sekali ya hal yang bisa kita pelajari dari diskusi hari ini, dan terutama banyak sekali hal seperti misalnya kita bicara mengenai bagaimana cara seorang siswa atau khususnya remaja bisa mau membaca. Tentunya banyak hal yang tentunya bisa kita lakukan, yaitu ya terus membaca, karena membaca itu merupakan jendela pada pengetahuan dan juga peluang. Dan juga tadi let me translate a bit to our viewers in bahasa Indonesia. Is that okay, Karine?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So pertanyaan kedua, ketika kita bicara mengenai apa sih apakah ada spesifik program untuk pengarang perempuan? Sebenarnya IPA tidak punya banyak program khusus, tapi mereka encourage terus pengarang-pengarang Indonesia untuk terus bisa berkarya dan tentunya akan selalu disupport oleh organisasi-organisasi global seperti contohnya IPA. Dan tadi sebenarnya kita sudah juga mendapatkan pertanyaan dari salah satu penerbit di Indonesia bahwa sebenarnya kalau individu atau sebuah perusahaan penerbit ingin masuk ke dalam IPA itu tidak bisa langsung ternyata. Jadi harus terregistrasi dulu di perkumpulan lokalnya yaitu IKP. Kemudian IKP inilah yang kemudian akan disupport oleh IPA gitu. Dan juga tadi ada pertanyaan menarik sebenarnya dari DPMPTSP Pak Hendra mengenai apakah Jakarta bisa jadi salah satu World Book Capital City nanti di masa yang akan datang. Tentunya bisa, tapi tentunya perlu banyak kerja keras yang harus dilakukan oleh Jakarta, terutama untuk mendukung pengarang-pengarang baru, penulis-penulis baru, dan juga bagaimana kita bisa mengeluarkan karya-karya baru dan juga tentunya terus mendukung masyarakat untuk bisa membaca. Jadi akses kepada bacaan, akses kepada literasi, akses pada buku itu harus terus ditingkatkan. So, thank you so much. I just translated to our viewers the summary of our discussions today.
Thank you.
So, thank you, Karine. Thank you so much for a very pleasant discussion. And I hope that your visit in Jakarta will be memorable for you. I also hope that the Congress in November will be successful and have many opportunities to the publishing industry, also to Jakarta as the host of this year's Congress. And most importantly, the impacts of your Congress can be beneficial for everyone because again, reading is matters, right? So before we officially close this discussion, do you have parting message to our viewer here?
I do. I went to see all the publishers being present at the Congress. So the Congress is going to be held in November from the 10th to the 12th of November this year. It will be my pleasure to meet you there. And thank you so much, Yulia, for this opportunity.
You're welcome, Karine. Likewise. So thank you again. Have a pleasant stay enjoying the city. I know that you have a very full schedule during your stay in Jakarta, but I hope you still enjoy Jakarta because we have not just as capital city, but also a lot of like tourism and attractive. So maybe you can have visit a little bit to that area. Jadi rekan ASN Jakarta dan Warganet, terima kasih sudah menyaksikan perbincangan saya dan Karine sampai akhir. Dan demikianlah perbincangan saya. Karine adalah the Head of Indonesia IPA Jakarta Congress Programming Committee and the Vice President of International Publishers Association. Semoga bermanfaat. Terima kasih sudah menyaksikan. Tetap semangat. Salam sehat. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Santi Santi Om, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan.
Hello there. My name is Jose Borghino. I'm the Secretary General of the International Publishers Association. I'm really pleased to be here, Rabu Belajar, to talk about the upcoming 33rd IPA Congress, which will be held in Jakarta on the 10th to the 12th of November this year. The IPA Congress happens every 2 years, and we produce a wonderful program each year. This year is no different. We have speakers from all around the world, experts in publishing and related fields, to speak to a wide-ranging audience. The difference this year, of course, because we're in Jakarta, is that there will be many Indonesian voices. For the first time, we'll be hearing people talking about all the topics of importance and interest to publishers all around the world. We also expect there to be hundreds of publishers from Indonesia. We know how big the market is in Indonesia, how many thousands of small and medium publishers are based in Indonesia, and we hope that many of them can come this year from the 10th to the 12th of November here in Jakarta and join in the conversation, join in the exchange of ideas. It'll be great. I'm looking forward to it. We have 11 different panels this year, ranging from the usual focus that the IPA has, which is on freedom to publish and on copyright. So we're talking about artificial intelligence in terms of copyright. We're talking about whether social media is a good thing or a bad thing for freedom to publish. So those parts of the program are really interesting. We're talking about sustainability and publish her, diversity. But I think the really interesting part of the program for many Indonesian publishers at least will be the one about children's reading. The children's book market in Indonesia, as far as I understand, is about 60% of all the titles. So obviously children's reading is of great importance to the Indonesian public, and that's as it should be. The future of Indonesia, like the future of many other countries, depends on many more people reading much more, and we should start with children. They're the future, and we're going to focus on them in the Congress, 10th to the 12th of November. Come and join us, please. Thanks a lot for having us here. We really look forward to joining with you at the end of the year. Come and register online, bit.ly/33rd IPA Congress. We'll really look forward to seeing you there. Bye.
My name is James Taylor. I'm the Director of Communications and Freedom to Publish at the International Publishers Association. Come and join us in Jakarta for the 33rd International Publishers Congress from the 10th to the 12th of November, where we have a fantastic lineup of international publishers from companies like Penguin Random House, Hachette, Elsevier, Visang, Planeta, and great speakers from Indonesia as well, like Najila Shihab, Adi Ekatama, and Hilma Farid. Please join us from the 10th to the 12th of November in Jakarta. Reading matters. Come and embrace the future of publishing with us. Registration for the 33rd International Publishers Congress is open. All publishers are welcome to register at bit.ly/33rd IPA Congress. Register now. Join us from the 10th to the 12th of November in Jakarta.
Hi, I am Karine Pansa, Vice President of the International Publishers Association and Head of the Programming Committee of the 33rd International Publishers Congress. I'd like to invite you to come and join us. And you can register in this link here.
Hold you in my arms. I just wanted to hold you in my arms. Starlight, I will be chasing a starlight until the end of my life. I don't know if it's worth it anymore. I'll never let you go if you promise not to fade away, never fade away. Our hopes and expectations, black holes and revelations.
Improving quality of public services is a monumental aspect of administrative and bureaucratic reforms, for it will contribute to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. The Jakarta Investment and One-Stop Integrated Service Department, or better known as PTSP Jakarta, is a newly established government organization that started in 2015. PTSP Jakarta provides integrated solutions for managing investment, licensing and non-licensing in the capital city of Jakarta. Our service aims to focus on three main priorities to achieve zero delay, zero complaint, and 100% service excellence. Thus, we provide the citizens with an innovative multi-channels public service approach. To make PTSP's presence more accessible, our services are spread in 316 points. A 12-story building dedicated as a Jakarta Public Service Mall was built in 2017 to expand the function of one-stop integrated service. The mall integrates 19 public service units from private sector and government agencies of both Jakarta and central government into one place, becoming a comprehensive one-stop place providing 330 services. Prioritizing the use of information system and communication to accelerate our services, managing customer inquiries with quick response, and providing reliable and suitable for working and public facilities. To remain committed in giving exceptional service, we hold onto values to provide solutions through empathy, decisive, innovative, and competent manners.
Solusi empati tegas inovasi Anda. Setia, solusi empati tegas inovasi Anda. Pelayanan publik.
Jakarta Capital City Government will stay committed to remain trustful and wholeheartedly dedicate our efforts to fulfill the basic needs and civil rights to every citizen through providing quality public services.
Pelayanan nyata bagi warga ibu kota, kerja tanpa lelah, memberikan yang terbaik dengan inovasi tiada henti, multi channel public service delivery 150 0164
work with full dedication in order to realize our commitment as the licensing solution for Jakarta citizens.
Dengan inovasi tiada henti di channel public service delivery 1500164 presenter dan Ajib siap melayani.
Come and grow with Jakarta, smart city, smart opportunities.
Halo warga Jakarta, Bang Soleh dan Pok Lucy punya kabar bahagia nih. Setelah terbukti mempermudah proses perizinan di Jakarta, di masa pandemi ini, Ajib hadir dengan pengembangan inovasi layanan yang disesuaikan dengan kebutuhan warga ibu kota. Kini, dengan Ajib, kamu bisa mendapatkan asistensi perizinan dan non-perizinan langsung dari rumah atau kantor kamu secara gratis. Mulai dari permohonan, pengajuan perizinan online sampai dengan izin diterbitkan atau end-to-end proses. Caranya mudah, kamu dapat melakukan permohonan Ajib melalui website pelayanan.jakarta.go.id. Pilih menu pesan Ajib. Petugas Ajib akan mendatangi rumah atau kantor sesuai dengan waktu yang kamu inginkan. Petugas Ajib beroperasi di hari kerja, mulai pukul 8 pagi sampai dengan 3 sore. Saat kamu mengajukan permohonan perizinan melalui inovasi layanan Ajib, pastikan kamu menerapkan protokol kesehatan dan tetap disiplin 3M untuk melindungi diri dan orang sekitarmu dari penyebaran COVID-19. Urus izin di Jakarta, diajibin aja. Pesan ini disampaikan oleh Dinas Penanaman Modal dan Pelayanan Terpadu Satu Pintu Provinsi DKI Jakarta. Follow Instagram @layananjakarta.